the main assumption that we make when it comes to putting technologies into schools is that they're going to change everything. That, you're going to buy this magical technology that everyone thinks that they want, and that once you kind of open up the box, that it's just going to solve all the problems in the school. And what my research finds is that so much about how and why we use anything is about our perceptions, the stories we tell, our personal experiences, our attitudes about the technology. So if I'm handed a new piece of software and I already have something I like, or I have a belief that I don't need it, I believe that what I'm already doing in my classroom is good enough or better than the technology, I'm unlikely to use it. Even if it does all the things that I say that I want, right? A key example of this is I went to a district once where they had all these different computer systems. And if you ask teachers what they liked the most, they liked their grade book. Because they felt like the grade book was where you could see what kids were doing. And in this school, you could it was computerized, so you could see what the kid was doing in another classroom, how their grades were doing. And that gave them a sense of feeling like they knew the kid and what the kid needed, right? They didn't feel like they needed all these different kinds of tests that we can give, and all these different predictions and charts and graphs. They felt like the grade book was good enough. So another example of how the teacher attitudes matter involves a different district where everything was about passing the state test. Everything was about, if you so the state end of year test, this is where we call it a high stakes achievement test. And if you don't pass it, you may not be able to go to the next grade. It's how the community can tell which schools are doing well or not. And that was what they valued. But they gave the teachers a system that had lots of things that teachers asked for. They asked the teachers, and things like discipline, things like attendance. But because the values were still around the state test, they really ignored they didn't look at the attendance, they didn't look at the discipline data, they didn't look at these other things that they thought they wanted, because the values were still around the state test.